in my practice. So I'm just going to go through a real quick activity that I've sort of been developing that's kind of interesting. And if you are up for it, can join me so that I don't feel like I'm here by myself. That would be great. But I'm going to find a little bit of space in my little room here. Now, this is a lesson I would do in person, but you know, I'm going to adapt it a little bit for the virtual environment, but you can imagine how it would work in person. And so what I have here is what I call my brain slave device. And it's just a little hacky sack. Okay, but if you have one, if you can find something like this, something you can hold in your hand that's handy, then you can follow along with me here. But this is my brain slave device, and what you're going to do is you're going to follow me. You're going to mirror my movements because I'm holding the beanbag. Now, in my classroom, in person, there would only be one beanbag. And everybody would be watching me and trying to mirror my movements. And really what I'm trying to do here is just get them to sort of stretch their bodies and engage a little bit. Maybe we'll try some different shapes. Let's try some wavy lines. How about that? Oh, see, it looks so cool on the screen with everybody. How about we'll go really fast? Oh, I like that. That was interesting. Watch how I did that. My hand starts up high and then it drops. What happens as it gets to the bottom? This is an interesting feeling. Let's explore this a little bit. So we have this feeling where we hold it up and then I drop it and it comes around. You feel that? Let's do a couple of these. Feels interesting. So now let's just go back to just some other kind of movements here. Just following, and seeing if you can predict when I'm going to do that big drop. See if you can predict when I'm going to do the big drop and drop it with me. Did you get it? We'll try it again. See if you can predict. Follow. Can you predict? And drop. And maybe I'll do a couple of these. Like that. Boom. Very nice. Now what I would do in an in-person setting is I'd call on somebody. I'm going to call on Veronica. And so Veronica, I want you to lead. You're going to give us some movements. We're going to follow your movements. And then you decide when you want to do the drop. And we're going to follow your drop. So whenever you're ready, Veronica, we're following you. Right, so good. So and then I would maybe. Now, what's fun is that in the in-person setting, I actually toss Veronica the beanbag. And then I say, whenever you're done, Veronica, you go ahead, you toss it to somebody else. And so then somebody else gets a chance, and we might give somebody else a shot to do it. And we can go around the room, and everybody gets a chance to just kind of get this sensation. And this is and then I'll talk about this one a little bit, that drop. That's an interesting feeling. What happens when we get to the bottom of that drop? What happens to your arm? Can you feel it? It's real interesting, right? Can you feel it tug at your arm? There's a moment when it hits the bottom. I call it the heavy bottom. When you hit that bottom, boom, you can feel it. And the natural instance is to drive up. And then you can also feel how it accelerates going back into it. I really like that feeling, the heavy bottom. Boom. Let's just try some heavy bottoms all together. Let's just try some heavy bottoms all together. Hold it up for me. Hold it up for me. Hold it up. Hold it up. Hold it up. Hold it up. Here we go. Ready. Right, so we can just do a little bit of this feeling, and the kids start to. You'll see they all find it right away. They find where it is in the music right away. And then I might mess around with it a little bit, slow it down, speed it up. And I say, okay, that might be one lesson. Then the next lesson I might do something where I'll contrast that even more. And I'll teach them a different move. And this move is called the rainbow. And the rainbow goes like this. You hold the beanbag out here to your side. And I'm going to reach across and I'm going to grab the beanbag here. And I'm going to pull it across and draw a rainbow. Right? And when I get done, I'm going to reach to the other side, and I'm going to pull across and draw some rainbows. You see that? We're going to pull across again, and we're pulling it. This is the rainbow. It has to start open. You start across your body, and you pull it open, right? It has to start that way. That's I'm a stickler for that. You can't go the opposite direction. And let's try some rainbows all together with the music this time. So give me your rainbow position. And here we go. Ready? Did you feel how long the rainbow was? Nice. Again. All right, so we do a bunch of those. Now I'll say, okay, let's do a little thing. We're going to do 2 heavy bottoms, and then we're going to do a rainbow that lasts for 2 heavy bottoms. We'll do it together. I'm rushing through this right now, but we're going to do 2 heavy bottoms and then a rainbow for 2. Let's try it. Ready, and we'll go 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2. Other side, 1 and 2. Again, 1 and 2. You see how I did that? Now, I would do that at the piano, but let's skip ahead. So I'll say, okay, let's do it 4 on a side. 4 on a side. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Good. So, Christine, you did your rainbows backwards. The rainbows need to go across and then open. I'm just teasing. But that is something I would point out to a kid. I would say, the rainbow has to go across. Then I would say, okay, follow me. We'll do the same thing. Let's go back to 4s. Here we go. And now the rainbow. Right, and then the other side. And then I would say, all right, toss the beanbag to somebody else. And I would tell them, let's do 6s. And we'll do it. Here we go. See how we can do that? We go 8. I've done as much as 16. I've had the kids go up to 16 and then stretch it across. Then if I really want to tie it all together, I'll just play something. Maybe I'll play like and then, oh yes, you're already doing it, right? You feel the rainbows and then you feel the boom, you know. So, and then the kids just naturally gravitate to this. They start to put things together with the form. They start to put things together. I'll put them in groups and I'll say, figure out the arrangement. How do you want to do it? Heavy bottoms and rainbows, or you could even just make up your own little brain slave movement if you want, and just let them sort of play with that movement vocabulary and start to come up. And with public school kids, this is just great. This is just great stuff. It really allows them to do a lot of different musical and extra musical sort of playtime with some really cool concepts. And I also like that it's grounded in real specific movement vocabulary, which is like sort of my thing. I like the movement vocabulary because I found with public school kids, you can't just say, move how you feel, like it's a bad idea. You have to sort of give them a palette to play with or it's really difficult. Anyway, that's my time.
Man, every time. Everybody just blowing my mind out here. Thank you so much to all 3. There's tons in there. We'll have no trouble talking for 25 minutes right here. I'm 100% sure. So many good things. We all, if just in case there's anybody who's a little bit newer to the practices, or somebody who's going to watch this, later, who maybe is a newcomer. One of the very Dalcrozian things that we saw now a couple examples of is that there was an initial nugget, an initial sort of interaction, and then there were variations on that interaction or extensions of that interaction. And so there, with what Anthony just showed us, he gave us an initial, he's calling it a movement vocabulary, which I'm 100% with him. I like that wording too. But he gave, there's this downward arm, and then there's this upper arm, the heavy bottom and the rainbow. And then that isn't at all the end. That's just the setup. and then the end is how many ends can we make out of this. So let's do it as he just showed there at the end. Let's do one where we do just, let's do it this count, now let's do it that count, let's do it 16 crazy